Good morning, good brother.
How goes it, my fellow?
Man, I can't call it. It's a good weekend, man. Or a good week, I should say. Leading into a good weekend. Let me say that.
I was going to say it's definitely a good weekend, especially being that it's Mother's Day. So since we won't have this podcast again before Sunday, let me just go ahead and put a huge shouts out to all the moms out there doing great work, doing God's work, raising up these kids, and to my mom as well. Patricia Walker. If anyone's wondering why my name's Patrick, hers is Patricia, but she has a C in it. I think she was trolling me, but I flipped that and turned it into a brand. So jokes on you, mama. But no, all jokes aside, man. Love my mama. Love all the mothers out there who are doing their thing, man. Absolutely, 100%. Y'all definitely my heart.
Happy birthday, Mama Patricia. You have raised a wonderful young man.
Don't gas her, bro. Don't gas her.
With that said, let me smack your son upside it. No, I'm just playing. Let's get into this.
Let's go.
Hey man, I can't wait for the other endeavor that we got going on here, man. It's gonna be fantastic. Massive,
and but we're not gonna leak it just yet, y'all. Folks, just stay tuned. It's coming in the next few weeks.
It's coming. It might be some rock bottoms going on here, but look. Mama Patricia raised such a great young man that, he got hired by the Cowboys where he's able to sit down with these rookies coming in where other great moms has raised these young men. And you got a chance to sit down, bro, with the Cowboys second round pick, Marshawn Kneeland, in an exclusive interview. I have to put that out there, right? Because not everybody can have these type of sit downs, but you did. And
I'm not qualified, though.
But you're not qualified. Yeah. You get an exclusive.
Yeah, no. Only unqualified people can get that type of access. So no worries.
No worries. All right, get them shirts made. Yeah. What were some of your takeaways, though, from that conversation?
Well, first and foremost, shouts out to all the rookies coming in. Today is the first step of a 1,000-mile journey for them. And, in talking with these young guys, obviously, those who follow me on Twitter at Voice of the Star and read the content on the .com, I had a lot of time with Tyler Guyton following his pick, and you see how excited he is, his support system, how diehard of Cowboys fans he, his family, his dad are. But then when you move on to other guys, like I was able to speak with, like you said, Marshawn Kneeland yesterday, Cooper Beebe, Ryan Flournoy, so forth and so on. And one thing I'm really picking up on these guys is just how excited they are to get started, but also one word kept coming up in my conversations with them, which was surreal. It's still surreal for these guys. I asked each one of them, including Marshawn, I said, has it sunk in yet? And most of them said no. And Marshawn said it'll sink in when he gets on the field and when he starts, putting hands on people. And that has to excite Cowboys fans to know that this young man is coming in and he's not, big-eyed and slack-jawed. Like, he is ready to get cooking and get to work. So, speaking with him yesterday, a couple things stood out. Obviously, the elephant in the room is he was assigned number 94. We all know that number 94 carries a lot of weight. You're talking about Charles Haley. You're talking about, DeMarcus Ware. And I told him, I asked him straight up. I said, hey, with all the weight that comes with that number 94, if we flash forward to 10 years from now and then look back in hindsight, what does Marshawn Kneeland want his 94 to be remembered as? When people look at 94 and see Kneeland at the top 10 years from now, what do you want your legacy to be with the Cowboys? And he smiled and he paused, and then he looked at me and he said, I want to retire this number. I want to get this number retired. Now, of course, unbeknownst to the young man, the Cowboys don't retire numbers, but they do put them on reserve. Right? So like number 8, number 22, so I say all that to say he wants to come in and do great things. And Nick Harris is doing a great series as far as speaking with some of the collegiate coaches of these guys. And he did a piece yesterday on one of the coaches, former coaches of Marshawn Kneeland. And what that coach said jives completely with my scouting of Kneeland and the conversation with him yesterday, in that don't let the coy smile fool you. When he gets on the field, he hits that switch, and he's a different dude altogether as far as just being animalistic as far as playing off the edge. So love what these rookies are bringing. Marshawn Kneeland, he wants to be great to the point where he wants to be the first one to make the Cowboys retire a number. Keep that energy, bro. Keep that energy.
You know, that number 94 thing is a lot more significant than I think I even gave it credit for early on when I heard it. Because this is the first draft for Mike Zimmer, right? So these guys are Mike Zimmer guys, Nealon and
Yep.
Leofau and Rogers and these dudes. But when the Cowboys give out a number like that, 88, that means something. 94, it means something. I'm starting to wonder now where I had Marshawn Nealon as a guy who could be just, obviously a part of the rotation. If he goes out there and he shows out, I mean, is it possible? And again, this is very early, but is it possible you're talking about a potential starter or a guy who gets that next man up above, say, a Sam Williams?
I would say look at it in the capacity of, well, first of all, yes, it's possible, but right now Nealon and Sam Williams bring two different things to the table.
Yeah.
Sam Williams is more of the true pass rusher who needs to refine his ability to stop the run off of the edge. Marshawn Nealon is a true run stopper off of the edge who needs to refine his work as a pass rusher. So right now they're perfectly complementary. Now, if Nealon gets in with Micah, and he's already going to glue himself to DeMarcus Lawrence because they're kind of the same prototype, right?
Yeah.
But if he gets with a guy like DeMarcus Ware, for example, one of the previous 94s, if he gets with Micah Parsons and Mike Zimmer, he starts learning some of these pass rush moves and he raises his level of play in that capacity as well, then yeah, he could absolutely overtake Sam Williams if Sam Williams permits that to happen. So that's where it really comes down to the competition there. But as we have this conversation, rookie camp's about to start, you can look at Marshawn Nealon and Micah Parsons, Sam Williams as literally the same complementary pieces as Micah Parsons is to DeMarcus Lawrence, whereas Tank can get into the backfield, but he's more of the run stopper. Micah Parsons, he can stop the run a bit, but he's more go after your quarterback. Think about Sam Williams and Marshawn Nealon right now in that capacity.
Makes sense, man. And like you just talked about, you sat down and talked to a lot of these guys, not just Marshawn Nealon. So you have a little bit of inside information on these guys' mentalities heading into rookie minicamp. What are some of the things you're looking for, you're watching for coming out of rookie minicamp for not just the draft picks? Maybe you got an undrafted guy you also have your eye on too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing about it is people just have to understand that this is minicamp for these rookies. The veterans have not reported to join them yet. So the veterans are here for voluntary off-season conditioning, but veteran minicamp won't begin until May 21st, and that's when there'll be the commingling of veterans and rookies. But so I say that to say there's not too much that you can take away from that I'll be able to take away from today and tomorrow. They'll have 2 walkthroughs today. They'll have a walkthrough tomorrow, but the key word is walkthrough. So what I'm looking for, first of all, is I want to see these guys in person, especially these undrafted guys that we've been scouting on film and everything, but we've not seen them in person. And it's exciting to be able to see even the draft picks. Of course, when you see Tyler Guyton in person, holy Moses. That's the only way I could describe. That dude is not human. 6'8", just whoa. Cooper Beebe, you can just look at him and tell that he has like that sly little serial killer smile, where it's just like, I know you're going to hurt somebody, but he doesn't want anybody to know until he starts hurting people, right? So like I asked Cooper yesterday, I said, do you keep a tally, like a body count during games? And he was like, no, I don't, because, it's easy to do it after the game when I'm watching film. You see what I mean? Like, just stone cold killer, right? But it'll be fun, man. But I'm also looking at formations, right? I want to see in the media portion, I want to see, is Cooper Beebe immediately going to be lined up at center? Immediately, right? Even before veterans get in. Where is he going to be starting out his rookie minicamp? Is he starting out as a guard? Is he starting out as center? My money is he's going to start out at center. We already know Tyler Guyton's going to start out at left tackle. No big deal there. But when you start looking at some of these other guys, where are they going to line up? What linebacker role is it going to be for Leofau, for example? Is he coming in as to be tested as Will? Now you got to assume Eric Kendricks is the Mike, but maybe Zimmer wants to see how Leofau moves at Sam versus Will versus Mike, because Eric Kendricks, keep in mind, he's on a 1-year deal. He's not on a long-term deal, right? So you got to consider the future of that position as well. So it'll be interesting to see how guys like Leofau, where is he starting out in rookie minicamp? Is it Mike, Will, or Sam? Cooper Beebe, is he going to start out instantly at center? I believe he will, but let's see if he will. And then kind of work my way out from there.
From your undrafted, film or eye that you've been watching, give me one guy for Cowboys Nation if they haven't look them up to keep their eye out coming out of rookie minicamp?
Let's see. Cowboys signed 12,
12 of
I
them.
believe. 12 undrafted free agents. There are a couple, man. Byron Vaughns is going to be interesting out of Baylor. Mason Johnson out of UCF. And you see what I'm doing here? I'm talking about the linebackers. Brock Bogenson out of South Dakota. Keep an eye on those linebackers because obviously it's a position of need for the Cowboys, but not just now, also later. We just talked about how Eric Kendricks is not on a long-term deal. Cowboys need to find, additional bodies, talented guys who can contribute, not just now, but later, definitely. But let's go to running back. Let's go to running back. I know yesterday on Cowboys Break, I mentioned Denzel Dox out of Illinois, the defensive tackle. Keep an eye on him as well, and that's because it's a position of need. I want to see if they're going to, between Doxson and Justin Rogers, if they feel like they're good to stand pat at the moment before they go and add a veteran defensive tackle, e.g. Calais Campbell, e.g. Linval Joseph, who I keep an eye on. But I'm talking about this running back. Let's talk about Nathaniel Peete because the Cowboys did not draft a running back, much to the chagrin of everybody, right? Even those of us, such as myself, who wanted Ezekiel Elliott back, I still wanted, with Ezekiel Elliott being brought back, I wanted a running back to be drafted. They did half of that equation, okay? So you get half a clap. And what's the sound of one hand clapping? I guess that's what they get. But they did go and get Nathaniel Peete as the lone running back in the undrafted free agency class. Nathaniel Peete comes in out of Mizzou. SEC talent, so he's played against the big boys, right? He's played against other NFL caliber talent, but is he going to be able to make some waves and potentially put pressure on guys like Snoop Connor, Royce Freeman, maybe even Malik Davis? What is Nathaniel Peete able to do in the realm of challenging for Deuce Vaughn snaps and things like that? So I just feel like Peete is the one that is being, I won't say overlooked by everyone outside of the building, but not discussed enough for my liking. And I'm not saying this to say that he's going to go out there and completely steal the show. He may not. I'm saying that I'm curious to see if he can, because for him to be the lone running back, rookie running back, there's something the Cowboys see there, and I want to see it as well. So I'm keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, he's the lone wolf, and I think it's important to keep an eye on him because – the Cowboys have a room with question marks in it. And they also have a room that doesn't really complement each other, I think, as much. And Nathaniel Peete could give the Cowboys that juice that they don't currently have. And I like how you said, hey, can he push the Snoops and the Maliks and then maybe work his way to Deuce? Tomorrow or today, actually, the first impressions are huge. So if he can get that going, that's good momentum heading into minicamp.
Yeah, and we talk about like the previous question, which was one of the takeaways that I'm looking for coming out of this weekend is positional placement, and how are they looking to use Nathaniel Peete? Are they looking to use him more traditionally as far as like a type A Ezekiel Elliott, type B Rico Dowdle / Tony Pollard archetype, or are they looking to use him more so as a guy that can pass pro but also can catch out of the backfield, which makes him like a type AB? And if he's being viewed as like a type AB, then you really have to look at Deuce Vaughn and say, right? If then to that point, you have to kind of at least look at Hunter Lipke as well. And I love what Lipke was able to do on the back end of last season. And I'm on record as saying I think Lipke gets the nod at RB3. I said it last week talking to you on the show. But again, anything can change if any of these guys step up and start making some major waves. And the beauty of it's kind of a gift and a curse, because the curse of being the rookie is you're unproven. Nobody knows what you got. So you're going to start, for the most part, depending on your draft status or lack thereof, you're going to start at the bottom, have to climb your way up. But the gift is nobody knows what's coming. So surprise attack, right? So this is what a guy like Nathaniel Peete has in his back pocket. I mean, if he comes out and really starts impressing, then, early on without wasting any time, and same goes for some of these other undrafted free agents. They brought some tight ends as well. Look at a guy like Peyton Hendershot, right? Because not only do you have John Stevens Jr. coming back, right? You got John Stevens Jr. coming back, but the Cowboys went, and guess what? They got Span Ford out of Minnesota. They got Alec Holler out of Central Florida. So they added 2 tight ends in undrafted free agency. So keep an eye on the tight end position as well, behind Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker. Some waves could be made there. So these rookies that are coming in, again, you got to climb your way up. especially if you're an undrafted guy. But it also works in your favor that they don't know what's coming.
I'm gonna let something you said slide because you got to get going and get down there and talk to these rookies and get your eyeballs on these
Halo,
warm ups. But
Halo, what I do, Halo.
RB3 Hunter. Oh, we got tussle on that one, bro. We got tussle next week on that one.
Yeah, well, let me clarify that we will tussle on it, but I'll put it this way. I say that because I don't know that the Cowboys are going to try to carry 4 running backs, because if you go heavy on 4 running backs, you got to go light somewhere else. And where are you going light? You can't afford to go light offensive line because you're young and you're rebuilding. You got to make sure you're good there. And you definitely can't go light at defensive line and defensive tackle, please. Right? Can't go light at linebacker. Did that last year. You saw what happened with that because it was involuntary, number one, because of injury. Can't really go light at safety because Jaron Curse is not in the building. Probably won't be back in the building. We'll see if that holds, but it doesn't look good as we have this conversation. I mean, where are you going light? You're carrying 3 quarterbacks, right? You running. I don't see it. So, but if they carry 4 running backs, then you have to deem Hunter Lipke as a traditional fullback, and then okay, if that's the case, then let me say it this way, so my guy still can feel a little bit better. If you carry 4 running backs, then technically you'll have 3 running backs and a fullback. If you carry 3 running backs,
he's so slick. Oh, he's so slick with it.
All right.
Okay.
On that note.
Okay. Damn, you good. This is why you the beast, man. You good with it, bro. That's Patrick C. Walker, man. Hey, give us some good stuff coming out of rookie minicamp down there, please, sir.
Facts, man. Everybody follow me on Twitter at Voice of the Star. I'll be tweeting. We can't do video, but I'll be tweeting as many pictures as I can. Maybe get some sneak peeks at who's lining up where, and I'll get that out on Twitter for those that are following along.
There you go, man. Appreciate you, big bro.
Yes, sir. Talk to you soon.